Well, it's gear install time, so grab your notepads, sit back and enjoy because it's going to get interesting real fast. So I got the tire pulled off. You gotta loosen the slack adjuster up so you can draw your brake shoes in, then you can pull the drum off. And you can tell I might have to replace all the brake shoes and stuff, but as you can see, this is a C-clip style axle shaft. So you can see the axle shaft actually slides in and out, and that's the only thing that's retaining this axle shaft inside this housing is a little old C-clip inside the carrier. So I gotta go over there and remove the C-clip. The axle shaft will slide out. That's what the C-clip eliminator is going to get rid of, is that little tiny C-clip, because when I abuse this axle, and if I happen to break an axle shaft, I do not want this axle to exit my truck because that will be bad news for me. So move on to the next step, show you how to get the C-clip out so you can get rid of that. So you can see on this lunchbox style locker, you see the center gears right here, and then the outside gears that are splined to the axle shaft. And what I have to do is rotate the axle around, and then you get to the back side, the opposite side of the gears, and you can see this gap right here. Well, this gap is where the C-clips are going to fall out after I get the center pin removed. So I'm about to remove the center pin right now and then be able to push the axle shafts in and hopefully get the C-clips to fall out without having to do anything to that locker, because I don't feel like having to take that locker apart. They're not very fun to take apart. So in order to pull the center pin out, you just got to rotate the ring gear around, and you can see this little bolt. You got to pull this bolt out and then the center pin can fall out. Hopefully I can get that little bolt out without it breaking off, because it tends to be a problem sometimes trying to break that loose. So we'll pull that out and then try to push the center pin out, move on to the next step. Complete center pin bolt, not broken. Just kind of rare sometimes. Now just get back in here, and once you get it turned to where you can get back to the back side, you can really push and pull that center pin right on out without causing any problems. Now I got the center pin pulled out, then I've got to rotate very carefully rotate the ring gear around so you don't mess anything else up inside, and get it to where you can look inside and gently push in on the axle shaft, and I can see the shaft sliding in. So this ain't the most elegant way of doing it. I didn't have to mess with any of the locator pins and small little pins and springs inside of the locker. I just kind of wedged it over real carefully, wedged the center gear over, and fished it out. So I can pull these out and the side gear slide back without any damage, and without having to worry about all the little springs and locator pins. And I'll do it to the other side and get the other C-clip out, and then I'm able to put the center pin back in, and the locker will be able to stay in one piece, and I won't have to fool with it anymore, and move on to the next step of pulling this rear end apart. So I got the C-clips pulled out, and I slid the axle shafts out of both sides. And while I was inside fishing around trying to get the C-clips out of it, I noticed that the carrier can slide back and forth. You hear it clanking back and forth. And that means that the carrier bearings are pretty wore out. And plus it has a good bit of backlash. So it wasn't gonna be too much longer. Now I was gonna get the best of this rear end. So I'm glad I got all the upgraded parts, and I'm rebuilding this axle before I grenaded this axle all over the street and had to start fresh with something else. So I'm ready to pull it out. One thing that I need to tell you is make sure that you mark your carrier caps so they go the same direction when you put them back on. either with a tap of marking into them, a distinguishable marking, so you put them in the right direction when you go to put it back together. These caps are pretty distinguishable. They got different writing on them. So instead of me tapping on them or something like that, I'm kind of OCD about hitting on things that you don't have to, because just my luck, I'll bust something. So I noticed that the writing's different on them. So I made sure and took two good pictures, two good quality pictures. That way I don't have to disturb the caps. I can just look at the pictures and know which way to put them back on. So now I got to make sure I got these marked. Now I'm gonna pull them out, and the ring gear can come out, and I'll move on to the next step. So I just about got ahead of myself, and I pulled this cap off without telling y'all this. Make sure that when you pull that cap off, you pull the cap off one at a time, and you check behind and make sure that there's any shims behind the carrier bearing. You keep those shims with that carrier cap on opposite sides of your work table or a work cart or whatever. That way when you go to put the rear end back together, you can use those shims to set up a baseline measurements on it, so you're not starting from scratch. So make sure that's what you do is pull the cap off. When you get this cap pulled off, you hold on to the gear and get the bolts off. Set it on the table. When you pull that cap off, real gentle, make sure it's going to come out square. When you get the carrier cap off like that, set it on your table. On the back side here, there's a shim that this one has, and I can pull the shim out. Pretty good size shim like this, and you set that with that side carrier, and I got that side. So now I got that side sitting off, then I can pull these bolts out. I can pull those shims out. I can pull the ring and gear out, and move on to the next step. So now I got the carrier pulled out of it, and you can see the big old gigantic 308 pinion gear sticking out of it. And I got to go to the front side and pull the drive shaft out and pull the yoke out, and I can slide the pinion gear back out to the back side. So about to move around to the front side and pull the drive shaft, pull everything off. So follow me there. So now that I'm at the front of the axle, and you can see the yoke right here, and my almost glow-in-the-dark white drive shaft, I wanted to show y'all something I'm not exactly proud of, but I was in a bind and had to do it anyways, and that's drilling out the yoke and putting these grade 8 bolts in it to hold the straps on. The threads were bad in the yoke when I was trying to put the other drive shaft on my 4-wheel drive, so I just drilled out the yoke and stuck these bolts in it, and it held together on my 4-wheel drive, and it's held together so far in this. But I have an upgraded 1350 series yoke that I'm going to be running a bigger drive shaft, heavy duty drive shaft with larger U-joints and a bigger, stronger yoke, and get rid of all this janky mess right here. And it's definitely something that I don't recommend doing, but I did it, so can't really say don't do it. But now I'll pull all this stuff off and get ready to pull the pinion out and move on to the next step. So once you get the drive shaft pulled and you go ahead and pull the pinion nut off, sometimes you can just tap the pinion out of the yoke. But if it's got a lot of age and rust on it like this one has, sometimes you got to put a puller on it and just pull the yoke off, and then the pinion can fall out the back side. So that's what I'm doing. Alrighty, got this janky old yoke off, time to throw it in the scrap pile. Alrighty, reach in from the back side and ease this pinion out without smashing your fingers on the back side. The outer pinion bearing at it. Alright, now that I got the pinion pulled out of it, you got to pull the bearing off of here. Usually a shim between the bearing and the pinion head. And it sets your pinion depth. So I'll pull that off, and you can tell the crush lead right here. So Pinion's junk, so I get that shim out of there and get on to putting this rear axle back together. Well, that just about wraps this video up. But before I go, I wanted to show y'all the difference between my 308 factory gear ratio and my Motive Gear's 410 axle ratio. This is a lower gear ratio. It's going to help the truck out of the hole. It's going to be actually a little over 4 turns of the pinion gear for every 1 turn of the ring gear, versus the 308's 3 turns for every 1 turn of the ring gear. So it's going to help out of the hole power. It's going to help make a better 60-foot time, make the truck feel a lot more powerful. It's just multiplying the torque applied to the axle. So it's going to help take the stress off the engine and transmission, make the truck a whole lot more fun to drive, getting up out of the hole, starting at a racetrack and stuff. So can't wait to get it started. So right now I got to clean all this up, pull the bearings off. So I'm gonna make a whole new video of the actual install and setup of the ring and pinion. So I hope y'all come back to watch that video. So subscribe and like at the bottom of the page, and be sure to come back for more, because it's gonna get a whole lot more interesting.